All right, guys, today I've got the Aventon Sinch 2.5. I love these folding bikes from Aventon, and this one looks like it's gonna be premium quality, just like all the other Aventon bikes that I've reviewed. I can't wait to get out on the road and try this out and show you guys what it's all about. Let's not waste any more time. Let's see what this bad boy can actually do. So Aventon did send this bike over to me. They didn't tell me how many videos to make. They didn't tell me when to post the video. They never asked me to send the video ahead of time for pre-approval. They never asked me to add anything to my video, and they never have asked me to actually take anything out of my video. So all these opinions are my opinions. So that's the full disclosure of transparency for you guys. Let's get out and start this review. All right, guys, we're out here on the Sinch 2.5. I love this bike. I love the original bike, the original Sinch 2. What a great bike. These little folding bikes are super handy to have around. You can fit them in just about any car. And there's some nice upgrades on this one that we'll go over in detail whenever we kind of get partially through this test ride. But right now I am in eco mode. Their pedal assist levels have names, and eco mode right now is going to get me, let's see, it's about 9 miles an hour. Now this is a torque sensor, so it's going to be all dependent on how I'm pedaling. So I'm going to try to constantly put tension on it. We're going to go to tour, and in tour mode, we can see we're getting some good power. We're about 15 miles an hour. In sport mode, I'm going to have to shift again. Got some juice going here. Now I did flip this over to a class 3, which is one nice thing you can do. Now you are limited to around 25 miles an hour max speed, but it looks like in sport mode, I'm getting 22. In turbo mode, woo, feel the juice. Woo, this has got some power. 26 miles an hour is what I saw. 25, I can feel the motor still pulling, but right around 26 miles an hour is what I'm getting in turbo mode. This bike is smooth, it's quiet, and I'm fighting against a heck of a headwind today, guys. So you may be hearing some wind noise. Hopefully I can get that out of there, but it is super windy right now. And this bike is rolling really, really smooth. These 20-inch by 4-inch wide tires that have this kind of like street tread are really nice. I really like them. Nice and quiet, but give you a lot of grip on the road. There's that wind. It's really picking up. Hopefully this won't affect too many tests. It obviously didn't affect the speed test because 26, and this bike is set up currently right now to do 25. Out of the box, it comes as a class 2, and you can go in, click an agreement, and it'll let you go to class 3, maximum 25 miles an hour on pedal assist only. Throttle is going to be limited to, it's going to be limited to 20 miles an hour on all Aventon bikes. Woo! Dang. All right. That wind is brutal, guys. Brutal. Okay. Let's just take a quick look at this bike. The Sinch is a very premium folding bike. If you compared this to other brands and their folding bikes, you'll see that the Sinch is just really high quality. The paint on Aventon bikes is top notch. I love this color. Simple. It's good whether you're a guy or a girl. It's kind of a neutral color, and it just looks really well. It doesn't scream flashy, but it also doesn't scream boring. Super, super nice. There's no real indication that this is a 2.5 on the frame, which I do wish that they would have done. That way it made it a little bit easier to identify. We do have some stickers right up here that indicate some of the information on here, but still it says Sinch. It doesn't indicate that it's a 2.5. You just have to know that this is a 2.5 based off of the stats that come on the 2.5 website. But we've got some really nice stuff here. We've got some Tektro brakes, hydraulic, which was a thing in the original Sinch that Aventon didn't do. They didn't do hydraulic brakes. Now they do hydraulic brakes. They figured all that out. They figured out the routing to make it successful. 180 mil rotors, both front and back. Very, very nice brakes for for a bike of this size, you're going to get plenty of stopping power. You've got the Aventon suspension up front. It's going to give you plenty of cushion while you go down the road, but these fat tires are definitely going to do the work of smoothing this ride out. And I love the street tread. Not many brands do street tread, and Aventon is one of those brands that they do street tread on their folding bikes, and I think it's quite appropriate because these bikes really aren't off-road bikes. They are more of getting around town in a convenient way. Now back here, you do get this really nice built-in Aventon rack, and then you do get an Altus rear derailleur with an 8-speed cassette. This is a cassette, not a freewheel, which is really, really important because if you wanted to change this out, cassettes are a little bit easier to come by. And also you can even change this out to have a different gear ratio if you really wanted to, much easier, and a wider gear ratio than what you could with a freewheel. So a cassette is something we don't even see on some other more expensive bikes than what this one is. This particular bike retails for right around $17.99 full retail. And I think that they've nailed the looks of it and the components on it. Even check out these lights right here. You get turn signals right here and running lights, which is a really nice feature. Double-sided chain guard, so you don't have to worry about your chain falling off on this, but you also get this kind of, I consider these stainless steel chains or rust-proof chains. These things weather really, really well. They hold up really, really well in crummy conditions. So very, very nice. Now, before we do any more details, I want to go ahead and do the brake test on this to see how good these Tektro brakes work and with these nice tires. I bet you this bike stops pretty quick. So in order to do this brake test, if you haven't watched my channel, I simply get up to 20 miles an hour and I have a designated area that I do all the stopping on. Whenever we get down there, I'll let you guys know if this bike stopped really well or if it needs a little bit of work. I have a feeling this bike's going to stop good. Let's go ahead. Let's get this going. 3, 2, 1, and go. Nice and smooth. And 20. Got a little bit of skidding, but that's what happens whenever you're cooking along and you've got some street tread. The good news is, even though we did get a good amount of skidding, we stopped insanely fast. I believe the other Cinch, I believe that one stopped really quick too, the 2.0, but this one might have been the best stopping power out of any bike that I've reviewed so far. Check this out. This area right here between that line and this line is considered a good stopping power whenever the back wheel lands in there. If the front wheel lands in there, it's excellent stopping power. But look at this. This behind this line here, I consider it extremely good braking power. We're a good 1.5 feet behind this line. This thing did amazing. Such good stopping power. Tektro brakes at it again, and shows you the importance of street riding with street tires. Street tires have more rubber on the road than a off-road tire, so you're going to be able to brake quicker and be in more control. Very, very nice. Absolutely crushed this test. Next up, we are going to do what I call the sensor switch test. So in the sensor switch test, we're just going to be switching between throttle and pedal. I'm going to do it both ways, throttle to pedal, pedal to throttle. And I want to see if it picks it up really quick. If it picks it up really quick, then it's considered a good sensor switch. I may have to go to a different area because there's some construction guys up here that are hooping and hollering. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to do this sensor switch and see exactly how well it does. I'm going to actually go back this way. We'll just do some throttle. We'll get it up to about 10 miles an hour. And then I'm going to switch over to pedal. And here we go. Very smooth. Very, very smooth. No interruptions in the acceleration. The only difference is being that this is a cadence sensor, since I wasn't really hammering on it. It probably let off a little bit of power, but it was instant. Like, I didn't feel that dip in power that you feel with some of them. Now let's go from pedaling to throttle. Perfect. Now let's go back. A little bit of a delay there. We'll do some throttle. We'll get up to a higher speed here, do some throttle. There we go. So there's probably a quarter of a second, maybe a half a second of delay from time to time. But overall, I would consider this a very fast switch between throttle and pedal assist. All right, we're going to do the 0 to 20 test with both pedal assist and throttle. And how I do this is I switch in the hardest gear, which I'm currently in. I put it in turbo mode and we pedal until we get to 20 miles an hour and see how fast it does it. Now, I will give you a quick warning about Aventon bikes whenever it comes to the throttle. They're not extremely aggressive. They are really mostly designed for cruising around greenway trails, things like that, where you need to have a safe and controlled throttle. They're not going to be zooming along. You'll get up to 20 miles an hour-ish. Sometimes some of their bikes are right under 20. So we may not hit 20 on this with the throttle, just a heads up. But we're going to do the pedal assist first. Hardest gear, turbo mode. Here we go. Let's see how fast this bad boy can actually do it. In 3, 2, 1, go. And sensor kicked in right away. Putting down the pedals, 15 miles an hour and 20. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. I don't know what the time is, but you guys do because I've displayed it right here. Let's head back and do the throttle test. All right, guys, throttle time. Let's see if this bike can get up to 20 as it states that it can do. And 3, 2, 1, go. Nice, smooth acceleration. We're at 10, 15, and 20. It did it. Got all the way to 20. It kind of tapered off just a little bit there whenever we were looking at about 18 miles an hour. So just expect that the speed kind of curves down just a little bit whenever you hit that 20 mile an hour mark. Let's go ahead. Let's head back to the studio because I want to weigh this bike and see exactly how much this bike weighs. But not only that, I want to go over some more details, some specs, show you guys how to remove the battery, and then also show you how to fold this bike up because after all, this bike is a folding bike, and this is probably one of the main reasons why you would be looking at the Sinch 2.5. All right, let's head to the studio, and then we'll come back and do the hill climb test. Okay, I've got my Feedback Sports scale here. This thing can go up to 110 pounds in weight. Let's go ahead and see how much the Sinch 2.5 weighs. The Pro E-Lift makes this so easy. See what it weighs. All right, that's the official weight, 72 pounds, 6 ounces. All right, guys, now that we're back in the garage for just a little bit, I wanna go over some of the features that are on this bike. Now, this bike is a 48 volt system. Most of the new Aventons are a 36 volt system, but the Sinch 2.0 is on their original platform, which is 48 volts. Now, this is a 500 watt motor that peaks out at a little over 1,000 watts. And the controller that's in this has a 22 amp rating. So this bike is a class 2 e-bike, but as you guys have seen, you can actually go into the app and make it a class 3. Well, pretty close to a class 3. You can get it up to 25 miles an hour pedal assist and 20 with the throttle. Now, the battery that is in here is an integrated battery. They call it their Plus Integrated Power, and it's a 14 amp hour battery. Super easy to remove. On this other side over here, you have a set of keys. You just simply twist the key, it pops open, and then you can pull this battery right out. Now, it does have a lock in here, so you're gonna have to twist the key again to get it to fully unlock. Super easy to remove, really nice color coordinated top here, so this blends in really well with your frame. But these batteries are UL certified, so you don't have to worry about these whenever you have them in your house. They meet all the certifications that you would want whenever you look at a battery. So definitely safe to charge in your house, charge in your garage. You can take it into the office, all that kind of stuff. And nice and lightweight for a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery. A lot of times those batteries can get pretty heavy. Now there is an indicator light right here. Whenever you press it, it'll let you know whether or not you have a full battery or an empty battery. And then you've got your terminals right over here And this is where the charge port is. On the other side of the bike, there is a charge port that opens up and you plug it directly into here. Now to put this back in, it's just as easy as taking it out. Just simply set it down there into the terminals and then push this until you hear the click. Now, this is a folding bike, so we're gonna go ahead here in just a second. I'm gonna show you guys how this folds up. Really nice if you have a small SUV or a car with a relatively decent sized trunk, because you can fit this in there and you don't need a bike rack and it's secure in your vehicle. Now, it does have a 48 tooth front chainring, and I did notice some ghost pedaling when I got close to 25 miles an hour, but it wasn't full ghost pedaling. I just had to up my cadence just a little bit to be able to keep up with the pedaling. I would say this setup is actually pretty stinking impressive, considering that some other bikes that I've been reviewing lately that have a much bigger front chainring, for some reason, ghost pedal around 23. This one was a very light ghost pedaling at that close to 25 miles an hour. So super impressed with that. I do like the integrated lights and the colors that you can get in this. This also has right up here, let me lower this down. This also has a suspension seat post. And I really like the Aventon branded seat posts that they put on here that have suspension in them. I've had a couple of different Aventons that have had this, and honestly, it's probably one of the best on the market. There's not a lot of gimmicks to it. All of it's built in here, just as if it was like a dropper post. None of this is external, like no external springs. It's all built into the seat post, and the tension of it is fully adjustable. Whenever you remove this seat post, there's an Allen key hole on the bottom, and you turn it to tighten the seat post or loosen the seat post to give you different suspension based off of your body weight. Let's go ahead, let's lower this bad boy down, and I'm gonna show you guys how to fold it, and then we'll get back out on the road and try to conquer the big hill. Let me show you guys how to fold this really quick. First thing you're gonna wanna do is put your pedals into the fold mode. You just push in on them on both sides and then twist down. The next thing that I like to do is make sure that my kickstand is up, and then I'm going to release the handlebars right here. Typically put 2 hands on that, pull up on the button on the left, and then pull out with the lever there. This will simply fold down just like this. Then down here by your pedals is a release knob. You just undo that and then pull out right there. The best way to do this is take your knee and kind of push onto the frame a little bit while you pull onto this side right here, and then it'll start to fold. There is a little foot on the bottom that is kind of like a permanent kickstand that will let it rest on the ground so your chain ring doesn't actually hit the ground. And that is how simple it is to fold. And then whenever you want to go to unfold it, it's just as easy. Just basically pop it like that, and then make sure this is out. And then you can just put it together there. Once you've got it at this point, you can go ahead and lock this into place by simply just pushing in. That'll lock it into the safety position. Pull up on the handlebars, click that into place, then push up on the pedals and back, and push up on this pedal and back. A little lock that in place and put your kickstand down. That is how easy it is to fold the Aventon Sinch 2.5. One of the big benefits of a Sinch is the fact that it's got this real upright stance. So whenever you ride this bike, it really stands out how upright you sit. It's super comfortable. It's just like sitting in a chair. You don't feel like you're hunched over trying to speed off somewhere. You feel like you're just nice and comfortable riding along. And I think that's a big part of these bikes. Like, making them very comfortable for individuals to ride is really important. Now, while we head over to the big hill, let's just talk about the power that's on this. This is a 500 watt motor. So the fact that we can get upwards of about 25 to 26 miles an hour is pretty impressive. However, it peaks out at 1,000, I think 50 some watts. I think that's what it said, a little over 1,000. So that's going to help it when it comes to climbing up this hill. But still, we're talking about a relatively not light bike, but not heavy, with a 500 watt motor with fat tires. So this hill could be quite the challenge for it. So all the audio is going to be from the pedal assist. You won't hear any of the audio from the throttle. So let's go ahead and let's get going in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, got it in turbo, and I also have it in the hardest gear. We're going to try to get it up as fast as we can go. It's like 20.5, 20.8 was the max. We're also going to be testing the shifting on this under load. Now, I did feel a little bit of a cutoff there, which makes me think that maybe there's a cutoff switch or sensor whenever you shift to save your gears, which is good for longevity, but sometimes it can be kind of a challenge going up a hill. Let's see if it happens again. No, I must have been feeling things. Here's the 19%, and we're at 14 miles an hour right now. Downshifting, the bike is shifting super smooth. We're at 11.5 at the steepest part. Yeah, this bike is doing great, guys. I didn't see it drop below 11.2. Very nice. Still climbing, almost to the finish. And here's the finish. Wow. Did really good. 500 watt motor performing that well, going up that big hill. Amazing. 11.2 was the lowest that I saw. Very impressed with that. I'm going to turn around, and if we're waiting for the throttle to make it up the hill, we're going to do a downhill test. Let's just see how stable this bad boy is at higher speeds. Woo! 38 miles an hour, 30, 40, 41, 41 and a half, 43, 44, 45 miles an hour, 45.9 miles an hour. Guys, don't do that. That is stupid. 45.9 miles an hour is what I saw on the speedometer. This bike can roll. Wow, it can roll. That's crazy. Okay, let's take a look at the display here. I really like this display. Super compact, but it gives you everything you need. You've got your turn signals, both left and right. And as you can see, they appear right here on the screen. Super easy. And the other thing about the turn signals on Aventon bikes is they do auto shut off. You do have your time right up here. You've got a headlight display. And then you also have a signal right there that indicates that it's connected to the app. So if you connect it into your phone, that's how you'll know that that's connected. I do like how there's a percentage, and you do get battery bars right there. So you can really know how much battery you have left. You have your kind of a power meter here. This goes up and down as you ride, as you put out power. You got your miles per hour or your kilometers, and then you have your pedal assist levels. To change your pedal assist levels, you're just going to simply go up and down with these plus and minus buttons right here on your control pad. Now, if you hold this button right here and you're in a pedal assist level, it will go into walk mode. If you don't have it in a pedal assist level, the walk mode will not activate. This is your headlight. If you hold this down, it'll turn on your headlight and your tail lights. Very, very easy. You've got a power button over here, and then you also have a USB-C port right over here, so you can plug this in with a cable and you can charge your phone or other devices. Let's go ahead, let's drop into the menu real quick with the plus and minus button. Drop in there, you can clear your trip. So if you want to track your trips on your screen here and see exactly how many miles you did for that trip, you can clear it before you start riding. Your display units are going to be your miles per hour or your kilometers. Your screen brightness, you can go in there and you can adjust that. I have it on 1 so you guys can see the screen real easily whenever I'm recording here. Next up is your auto power on and off. It's going to be defaulted in at 10 minutes, and you can up that or decrease that. Then you're going to have your system info, and then you can set your date and time right there. And then whenever you click on connect to app, that will actually pull up a QR code that you'll scan to connect into your app for the very first time. Then simply hit the left turn signal and it'll exit you out the menu. That's your menu. Let's take a look at the app. Okay, so Aventon does have an app for this. This particular bike does not have what they call the ACU unit in it, so you don't get as many features in the built-in app, but I do want to go over the features that you do get. You do have the ability to turn the headlight on and off, and that also turns on and off the rear taillights. Very nice feature. And you can also change the pedal assist levels on here, see your battery, and you can also see like your max speed, your average speed, all those kind of little interesting details that you may want to know. Now you can use this app to actually track your rides. I know my father-in-law, he personally uses this to track his rides on his Adventure 3 Aventon bike, and he really likes it. I personally haven't ever really used it because I use my watch or I use Strava, but it is nice to know that this is built in right here, right with all of your bike controls. So if you want to, you have that option. Let's go ahead, let's go into the settings. Very simple since this bike does not have the ACU unit built into it yet, but you can change your screen brightness all the way down to 1 up to 5. You can change the auto power on and off. It defaults in at 10, which I think is a pretty reasonable auto power off time. You can change your assist levels here also, and then you can change your speed limit and your metrics. And what they mean by that is just you can turn it into a class 3 or you can lower the speed if you have someone who's new at riding an e-bike and you don't want them to go too fast. And then you do have an about my bike section. So there you go. That's the app and that's how it works. So there we go, guys. That's the Aventon Sinch 2.5. This is the second iteration of the Sinch that I have been able to review. And I've got to say, as far as folding e-bikes, this one is in my top 3 out of all of them that I've ever reviewed. I just really like the quality that you get out of Aventon products. And I really like these street tires that they put on here, 4 inches wide, 20-inch wheels, so nice and compact, perfect for a folding bike. And they're just quiet and they grip really, really well. These are by that brand Innova, I think that's how you say it. Not a lot of companies are using these, but I did notice that Aventon has basically put this brand on several of their bikes. It's just a really good quality tire. Feels really thick and really durable too. So I imagine there's some pretty good puncture resistance in there. And also having this nice suspension up here, the headlight and the metal fenders really make this feel like a premium product. Now, I also really appreciate the fact that they were able to integrate hydraulic brakes into this, because I know in past models of the Sinch, they didn't quite have that figured out without it causing issues for the hydraulic lines, but they figured this out on this particular model and it works really, really well, as you guys saw. So if you're as impressed with the Aventon Sinch 2.5 as I am, and you guys want to pick one up, just remember these retail for right around $1,799. And this is what I would consider a premium brand when it comes to brands of e-bikes that you're going to see on this channel. All right, guys, if you want to pick one up, I'll put some links down below. If you do buy one, I would appreciate it if you use those links. They are affiliated links, but of course, there's no additional charge for you. It just helps out this channel. But as always, if you guys are enjoying my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. We just broke 10,000 subscribers. I am so excited about that. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed and watched these videos. This channel has been really, really awesome to have over this last year, and I can't wait to go into the next year and show you guys all the bikes that I've got planned to review. So if you want to click that subscribe button, that would be awesome. Also click the like button to help out this video. Leave a comment because the YouTube algorithm loves it and I love it. But as always, get out there and ride your e-bike.